led by Derek Egg-Millesi-Smith off half-back, and really enjoyed the work of Biggie Nuon as well. He's going right back into defence, but he's looked really assured down back. Really liked his game. And Mark Williams tries a bounce to get us underway. Choco, fantastic. And it goes the Demons' way. Nuon is deep in defence. And in the end, the Tigers are able to take a mark. He took the bounce, but he didn't sprint back as well, so he wasn't able to pay the mark for the whistle.
Maybe in a set play.
How about that? The Tigers now streaming off half-back. Farmer gives chase for the D's. Handball comes to Naish. Work it around. It's a task there for big 206cm Samson Ryan, who runs out of real estate, and the ball will be tossed back in, true centre wing here at Casey Fields.
Tim Lamb, Melbourne list manager, told us Kobe Farmer's defensive efforts were really quite strong. That was a great chase from him. So yeah, he's obviously got a lot to work on as a young player trying to make his way onto an AFL list, but we've seen some good signs from him today.
Here's Naish taking the mark. Probably certainly been one of the best players on the ground, Patrick Naish. The Tigers move the ball up towards the half-forward line. Rioli with the crumb. Oh, scintillating crumb. Then from the pocket, Morris Rioli Jr. went for the impossible angle. But how about that electric front and centre from the textbook?
You can't teach that sort of class, can you?
No, you can't. Hopefully many more years of it to come as well.
Great grab by Fraser Rosman. That's the thing. He's a wingman, but he's tall. He's got long arms. He's got strong hands. And, yeah, he could be a really tough matchup for opposition teams. He's got a long left boot as well.
Just watching Biggie Nuon, who's just cradling his right arm, elbow, as he comes off the ground as well. And number 47, he's had a really good game today. Ball goes over the line and out of bounds. Hopefully it's all okay. He's started going up in that ruck contest.
See the replay there, he just lands pretty heavily, and yeah, hopefully nothing too serious there. I haven't seen Aaron Nitschke return to the field, no. So he went off a little bit earlier. The Melbourne physios were looking at his knee. Yeah, fingers crossed there's nothing wrong there, but yeah, we don't have anything to report at this stage.
Egg-Millesi-Smith in the meantime. A couple of running bounces, make it 3 in fact off half-back, and that lovely left foot again on display. Right in front of the scoreboard there, which reads Richmond 8-4-52, leading Melbourne 3-2-20. Oh, it's a fantastic tackle applied in the back pocket to force that free kick, holding the ball. It's trapped the one arm beautifully there. Mitchell Lewis able to take the mark, strong above his head. Been part of the Demons Casey outfit for quite some time, part of that setup.
Yeah, he's been out at Casey for a while. His mum Rachel actually works for the club, so a good connection to Melbourne there for the Lewis family. A talented midfielder at VFL level.
Ball up on the wing. Samson Ryan again going up on the ruck against Courtney. Dow with the clearance for Richmond. Ball comes to ground though. Melbourne sent it back. Oh, that was awkward. Sort of falcon halfway through. Now a really good opportunity for Bedford. That was explosive from the stoppage, and Toby Bedford with a really classy finish for Melbourne's 4th goal.
Yeah, that's the thing you want to see from Toby. He's got that explosive speed, just off a step, can really just get away from his opponent really quickly, and then got the great skills to finish it off. Hopefully we can see that a little bit more at AFL level. He's played the 2 senior games so far, but look at this, just
that was smooth,
breaks away and does the rest.
Great crumb from Toby Bedford, Melbourne NGA pick, Melbourne Grammar Boy. Really hoping that he can take the next step. Played a couple of games so far in his AFL career.
Cousins with Melbourne AFLW player Crystal Petrescu, who designed the Demons' Indigenous Guernsey, which will be worn this weekend. It's the AFLW's first ever Indigenous round, so an exciting weekend of footy. And I'll tell you what, Crystal did an amazing job on that Guernsey. So looking forward to seeing the D's against the Pies in that one on Sunday afternoon.
It's going to be a cracking game, that AFLW clash on Sunday at Victoria Park. Ball inside 50. Mitch Brown is there, going towards the pocket. He's got Bradkey over the top, and he's immediately wrapped up. And that will be a ball up. Oh, Mitch, Mark Williams is going to come from 50 metres away to ball this up. I don't think he's too happy about it. He was hoping the boundary umpire could hopefully do it.
He gets there.
He's really been stitched up there, hasn't he?
Bit of a delay in play here as we wait for Choco to get proceedings underway. Good crumb by Laurie. Bedford again, steps away. Right foot snap, 2 in a row for Toby Bedford. The D's starting to make a move.
That's exciting. 2 crumbs off packs, one from a stoppage opportunity, the other from an inside forward 50 entry, where he's been at the right place at the right time, but then his acceleration away. I remember when he first came on the scene, even 12 months ago when he played against North Melbourne in a practice game, he was really skinny, but he just looks like he's bulked up a little bit. He's got that extra strength, and hopefully that's helped with his acceleration as well.
Yeah, and his ability just to manoeuvre around the contest, get away from the congestion is a real feature of his game. I saw that there, and yeah, he's a good finisher, that's for sure.
So 2 goals to start this third stanza for Bedford. Brings the D's to within 20 points. Again, a slight breeze probably going to the left of your screen. Miller in the ruck this time. Going up. It comes out. Brown in front. Couldn't quite take the mark. Nuon back on the field as well, so that's really good for a Richmond perspective. Free kick will be paid, it looks like, to the Tigers. Nuon in front. Over his head, but it doesn't matter for Richmond. They'll get up towards half forward, but Petty going back and taking a strong intercept mark. Right at the edge of 50. Hoping for Courtney. Ball went over his head, straight down to Egg Smith. Superb left foot on display there once again. Went just over the head. Petty was there. Able to apply the tackle and force a stoppage deep inside that Richmond forward 50. Have conceded the first couple of goals of this quarter to Toby Bedford. Richmond assistant Adam Kingsley. Certainly getting the steps up today, along with Mark Williams. You can probably just hear the wind has picked up quite a fair bit now, affects Mike as well. It's started pretty still probably for the first sort of 2.5 quarters of game A. It's sort of picked up since then. Gallucci snaps around the body. Didn't quite have the distance or the accuracy. Lockhart takes the mark.
Great closing pressure there from Rioli.
Yeah. Very, very good. Pickett, good on both sides of his body. This time it elects to handball. Naish. So I reckon this is quarter number 5 for Patrick Naish. Oh, that's a
big spoil for
authoritative
Freeman.
Fist from Tom Freeman. This is quarter number 5 for Patrick Naish because he came in and played the last quarter of game A, and he's played, this is his 4th quarter. So one of those players that's had 4 stanzas, an opportunity for him. Keep forgetting this is a thirds game.
How do you think someone like a Marlon Pickett goes playing these sort of games? He's obviously won 2 flags in 20 games. Yeah. Not many people have been able to do that, but then obviously having to take the step back and playing at VFL level after playing in 2 premierships.
It's a funny one because I think Pickett, even towards the end, if there was going to be a change around the preliminary final, grand final time, it probably would have been Pickett last year. He's probably on the fringe. He's didn't quite have that strong season.
Finish to the season was a little slow. But stood up in the grand final.
He did. In the grand final, it was good. Just the first half, there was just a couple of questions. I know Dermot Burton on Fox Footy after the preliminary final talked about how if it if it wasn't for Pickett's strong second half, because he was a little bit down the first half, that he may have been vulnerable from a selection perspective. But he's a two-time premiership player. And one of the more remarkable stories. And he's got a book out as well. Here's Laurie off half-back for the D's, and working this nicely through the middle of Casey. Petty's handball had a lot of heat. Now they go deep inside 50. Courtney with the sit, and Courtney didn't have the mark. Brown, though, at ground level, was stripped of it. He'd been a bit stiff there. Courtney had to be paid the mark, but allows Richmond to rebound out of defence. Quarter play on now. Big defensive fist away there over the line and out of bounds.
So D's fans have been away from home for 580 days. There's just 22 days to go, and the best way to get there to the MCG for that clash with the Dockers is to become a member. So head to racetoround1.com to sign up or renew. The D's are targeting a record 43,787 members by round one. They're about 10,000 off that at the moment, so they need a big push. Head online now and sign up, because Melbourne Fremantle are a very dangerous young side that probably ruined the Demons season last year in the end, and that little horror trip to Cairns. And there's a lot of talent on that list. They're playing a good brand of footy, and that could be a good one, because really they'd be one of those sides around the mark for pushing into the top 8.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, under Justin Longmuir, some really good signs for the Dockers last year. That's going to be a great round one clash, and with the news today that the state government is allowing up to 50% capacity in the MCG and Marvel. It's a great opportunity to head along and watch what should be a great game in round one.
Traditionally, perhaps the Melbourne Fremantle game wouldn't get 50,000 along. I'd like to see it round one. I think it's been a long time, 580 days, so definitely the potential to get a maximum capacity of that game.
Yeah. No, I think just footy fans in general in Victoria just keen to go see some live action.
Craving it. I think we'll get 50,000 at Richmond Carlton round one as well.
I reckon we might. Bowie, he's looked really good off half-back to Farmer, a true centre half-back. Though chopped off by Kobe Farmer, who's got one goal to his name today. Pickett will now take his time. He looks like he might be lining up for a set shot for goal here.
Just beyond his range, he'll put it to the top of the square.
Petty had the sit, couldn't quite take the intercept mark. Handball comes out. Immediately wrapped up there to force the ball up. Almost halfway through this stanza now. Kick comes out off hands. Bradkey, nice gather from Bradkey. Put it in Farmer's direction. Kicking off the ground. Igbalesi Smith leads the race and gets a time bounce. Green. Igbalesi Smith gets it back to Rioli. Just how he's moved today. He's flipped a class above as the egg. You'd think here he is again. You'd think he'd be really, really strong opportunity to win this spot that's free at the moment under the SSP. Gallucci, though, might have something to say about that. A player who's trying to win an AFL lifeline after a few seasons with the Crows.
What have you made of Ben Miller there at fullback? He's had the role on Mitch Brown, so a tough gig for the 2017 draftee. Yeah. He's a big, tall defender. He from WA, but he's a really good mover. He's quite nimble for his size, and he's a good kick of the ball as well.
He's been on the list for a long time, but Richmond obviously sees something in him.
Yep.
He can play in the ruck as well, and I vaguely remember calling in the WA under-18s team back in 2017, him playing as a forward as well, so he's got the versatility to play all over the ground. As a defender, it's hard to get into that back line when you've got the likes of Asprey and Grimes and Broad and Bolter holding up a lot of those key positions. But the Tigers obviously see something in him, and so hopefully he can force his way into that senior side soon.
He is a good size, 195 centimetres, 95 kilos, so key position players like that don't grow on trees.
No,
so
they don't.
potentially a good pickup all the way down at 63.
Yeah.
Taking a little while to develop, but hopefully he can get a crack at some point.
Got a really good look at Morris Rioli Jr. today. He's had a lot of game time. We've seen that been able to move up the ground quite a fair bit. That hopefully that showing off his good tank as well. That's been important for Tigers fans, I think, to see today. He's got the free kick. He kicks high towards a dangerous position. What a great crumb from Dow. And then he does the team thing. That's really well played, and he finds Gallucci. That's a big tick next to Thompson Dow's name. And Gallucci's got an opportunity to kick Richmond's first of this quarter.
We mentioned a little earlier, Supercoach fans are probably watching this game.
Yeah.
Thompson Dow is one that I dare say they would have their eye on. He's 146,000 midfielder, potentially a chance to play games early in the season, and he hasn't done his chances any harm today.
Look really strong. Here's Gallucci. Lovely set shot. And Richmond have their 9th. Good finish from Jordan Gallucci. Delisted by Adelaide in November, I want to say, last year. And it's kind of come on quite late because the likes of Egmalesi Smith and Nick Karupis and Josh Green have been training with the Tigers for a while, but Gallucci's kind of got a late call-up to train with the club. And had a good opportunity against AFL-listed players, or a lot of AFL-listed players in the last quarter of Game A, and has been a consistent contributor today in Game B.
Yeah, he has.
So we're seeing a bit more of Marlon Pickett in the middle in this last quarter. He's at this centre bounce, ball up by umpire Mark Williams. And there is Pickett on cue. Grabs it out of the stoppage and accelerates away. Lockhart going back with a fly. Couldn't take the mark. What about that pick up from Freeman? That was excellent. Comes out though, and Pickett sees it over the line and out of bounds.
Melbourne performance manager Darren Burgess to do the honours of tossing this one back in out there.
So he's doing some running now. Instead of telling everyone else to run, he's a
very well paid boundary umpire, I'd say.
Courtney. Down via hand, and they move forward the Ds. Mitch Brown didn't have the sit. Miller did. Couldn't take the mark. Bradkey, good at ground level, but an excellent tackle. Forces holding the ball, free kick. He had lots of voices and options around, but hard to get a clean disposal off when you get a tackle like that.
Yeah, I think when you haven't played footy for a while, it's been a long time since Austin Breakey would have played a really competitive match. You just probably don't have that time to, you've got to take your first option a little bit more, so, yeah.
Miller to Newon. Bowie in front. The Sid couldn't take the mark. Lockhart gets it back. Tackle applied though. And it'll be balled up with just over 11 minutes remaining in this contest now. Has been a really good hit out actually this second contest. Lots of open space as well. Doesn't look like the full 22 players are...
It's a big ground, Casey Fields. Yeah. Good practice for the MCG. We see Melbourne runner Shannon Burns coming off the ground now. Bear in mind, he's had to do 7.5 an hours of running, so yeah.
He's fit though, he's up for it.
He is fit.
So from what you've sensed being around the Demons players, Benny, and you obviously spent a fair bit of time up in the hub yourself last year with the club, how keen are the players to be back playing in Victoria, back playing now that we've heard from this news this morning, back playing in front of fans from round one?
Yeah, I think the hub was a pretty tough experience for everyone. Melbourne did all right out of it in the end. They won more than they lost. Obviously, the Cairns trip, everyone keeps coming back to. It was a tough one. Literally on the Saturday night, we flew home from Alice Springs to home. It's Maroochydore at 3:30 a.m. And then 4 days later, we were off to Cairns, and we landed at Cairns Airport 3 hours before the game. So didn't really get to acclimatise to those conditions, and then played again 4 days later. So it was a tough trip. all up. But yeah, I think overall the D's did all right out of it. They won more games than they lost, and yeah, they'll certainly be keen to play in front of a home crowd. I think having no atmosphere at games it's certainly a different experience, that's for sure.
He did a couple of games at the MCG last year, that Richmond-Collingwood game, and that draw was a bizarre kind of experience, that first game back after the shutdown.
It almost took the runner's job out of the equation anyway, because people just yell across the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fascinating hearing some of the talk out in the field. Now, here's Rosman for the D's. Liked his game. Look at that long left foot kick. New one underneath it. Bradkey at the back. Got a horrible bounce. He was looking for an opportunity there, but new on. Farmer keeps it inside that forward 50. Paddling it forward. Trying to get it towards Laurie. Good spin from Farmer. Then he goes round the body. And he was off to the left. Demons players got excited there. Kobe Farmer. It's gone out of bounds. So it'll be tossed back in.
Kicked back in.
Or kicked back in. Ah. Bedford, who's kicked 2 goals in this quarter, really lit up the this stanza. Stoppage, plenty of Richmond numbers at the back. Pickett kicks it out. Got a shocking bounce in the Tigers. Green, they gave it up. Petty on the left. Goes short. Pickett met it first, couldn't gather cleanly, but then it was really good to go back and feed it all the way out to Egmalesi Smith. That's a strong contested marker right in front of the scoreboard, which reads the Tigers 9-4-58 to Melbourne 5-2-32. Josh Green with the footy, calls for calm. Big defensive fist from Freeman. Real defensive spoils that would have made the late great Danny Frawley very, very pleased, seeing it 5 rows back. Darren Burgess he's going with the forward throw, boundary throw in technique. Miller, there he is in the ruck, doing some work. Feeds it off to Dow. He sends it inside 50. It's a good kick as well. Nice ball moving again from Thompson Dow, and he's found a teammate. They'll look to extend this Tigers lead. Which is currently 26 points, 7.5 minutes remaining in the game.
Andrew Courtney's down holding his leg on the far side of the ground after that ruck contest for the Demons. In good hands with Darren Burgess. Having a look at him, but hopefully nothing too bad there.
He's moving around just on the wing now. That kick has just gone to the right, so minor score. Oh, dangerous kick in. Straight down the throat of Pickett, who's really come alive in this last quarter. A dual premiership player. And we did see him before, sort of half line up for goal when he had about 55 metres to cover. We'll have a bit closer to 50. He does look like he'll be kicking into it, so let's see how this one holds up. Ah, beautiful. Lovely set shot technique from Marlon Pickett. He gets the Tigers 10th. And in his 4th quarter of the game, he's been able to really finish strong. Good sign there for him, and certainly would please Richmond coach Damien Hardwick.
Yeah, for sure. 6 minutes to go in this one. And a lot of footy played here today at Casey Fields. So thanks for joining us wherever you are around the country or around the world, potentially going global on the Melbourne Football Club and Richmond Football Club websites.
So in the first game, it was Melbourne 14-9-93, defeating Richmond 12-10-82. A couple of real standout players. Max Gawn, the captain, was outstanding. We all, as Alan Richardson mentioned in the first quarter of Game B, we all know Max's capabilities as sort of running back in defence, but his marking up forward today was outstanding, and high praise, saying he's never sort of seen anyone being able to mark the ball like Max Gawn from Alan Richardson, so that was really promising signs from him. Cade Chandler, the standout young guy on the ground as well. Jake Arts had an excellent finish to the game as well from the Tigers' perspective. Dustin Martin did a few Dustin Martin things. Laurie linking up via hand in the middle. Long kick inside 50, nowhere near Brown's advantage for the D's. But the Tigers able to work it out via hand. Nice little mark. Now along the broadcast swing the Tigers go. Rioli at the back, had the flight. Just lost his footing at the wrong time. And Lockhart able to see his opponent over the line and out of bounds. Four and a half to play. Richmond 10-5, 65. Leading Melbourne 5-2, 32. Tap comes to Bowie. Yeah, he's impressed. Kick just sailed over his teammate's head. Miller with the clean pickup. Nice little bit of an ankle tap there. Just made the player lose his footing. Good to see Andrew Courtney. Looking to see him here on the bench. He's up. Not sure if he'll come back on after that incident on the wing. So Bradkey doing the ruck for the D's. Miller fed it out. Tigers go forward. Gallucci wants a kind bounce. Doesn't quite get it. And Rioli in front takes the mark. We've seen him do it at ground level and apply some great forward defensive pressure. And now he's marked pretty much directly in front, 35 metres out. For Richmond's 11th goal and his second, Morris Rioli Jr. Perfect. Some great set shots from the Tigers this quarter. First to Pickett and then to Morris Rioli Jr. That is just to have another Rioli at the Tigers would thrill Richmond fans, give them plenty of hope and plenty of growth opportunities for them. That's what we've heard from Neil Baum and Brendan Gale today, is just the opportunities for growth from the younger players will drive the hunger towards this hopefully their next premiership.
Two Riolis in the forward line is a pretty dangerous proposition for opposition sides. But yeah, as you say, I think the depth that Richmond have got is key. They're up by 39 points here today, and they've just got some kids that aren't necessarily first-round draft picks. They've been well found by Richmond's recruiting staff in Matt Clark, but no, they're doing a good job today, and yeah, when they get their opportunity, they're going to be hungry because they haven't been able to play much senior footy because their ones are standing up so strong.
Bradkey on the run. Goes for a big shot towards goal. And he's just off to the right, but that was promising from the forward ruck prospect. So maybe one last chance here for the Tigers to springboard off half-back. Naish. That ball held up in the wind, but Naish was up to the task. Dangerous kick. Just comes off. Green. Back to Naish, who's kept on running, but chopped off. Bedford with intercept mark. Nice to see Adam Kingsley not just getting out the way, just ducks, so he doesn't have to run like that. Bedford, beautiful kick into the middle. Opens up the forward 50 here. Rosman with the left boot, good kick. That's Lewis dropping back into the hole, able to take the mark, Mitch Lewis.
It's a tough spot to take a set shot from in case he feels. I probably would have backed Rosman in from 55 there with a little bit of breeze over his shoulder, but he's given it off, and yeah, Mitch Lewis will go back and have the chance to possibly kick the final goal of this game, just under 50 seconds remaining in what's been a big day at Casey Fields.
Just on Rosman, he doesn't look like a skinny young kid that's come into the team. We've heard both yourself and Alan Richardson, Ben, talk about ready-made he looks. Fraser Rosman, that's exciting. Lewis kicks towards goal. He's threaded that. That's a beautiful set shot. That's a nice way for the D's to finish Game B with Mitch Lewis slotting one from a tough angle.
That is a beautiful kick. As you say, Rosman certainly doesn't look like an 18-year-old.
No.
Big boy, mature young kid, so plenty of upside for him.
I wonder if Mark Williams is going to bother tossing this one up.
Well, there's 5 seconds remaining, and he's outside the centre square, and I don't back him to make it to the centre circle.
He's done.
That's the siren. That's all. The Tigers are victors in Game B, and there's the Demons earlier this afternoon by 11 points. It's been a good day of footy. Benny Waterworth.
Been fun, Ben. Nice doing it with you, mate. We got through in one piece.
It's been 7 quarters, we're calling it. 7 30-minute quarters of footy. It's been a good day here at Casey Fields. Thanks for tuning in wherever you've joined us around the country.